Hey guys, this is Stephanie from the Black History Buff channel, and you are super welcome. Before we go into the narration of the day, do not forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, follow us on all of our social media handles, and let's get to know each other. Also, you can shop for any of our products on our website www.blackhistorybuff.com. We've got a lot of products ranging from masks to t-shirts, sweatshirts, and lots of things that might interest you. So participate in our community, support what we do by buying what we sell. Stay tuned as I bring to you history that you probably have not heard. So I was thinking of what to say because I wanted to make this video quite different, and then I decided to go online and I saw this amazing website. I'm going to be putting it in the description so you guys can see for yourself. And amazing Black history facts actually that some of you might know, some of you might not know, but here are 10 facts you should know. First, I'd like to give credit to pbs.org for making this information available. Thank you so much, guys. And now to the agenda of the day. Did you know Martin Luther King Jr. improvised the most iconic part of his I Have a Dream speech? On Wednesday, August 28, 1963, 250,000 Americans united at the Lincoln Memorial for the final speech of the March on Washington. As Martin Luther King Jr. stood at the podium, he eventually pushed his notes aside. And that was the beginning of the most popular speeches we've ever known in history. Inoculation was introduced to America by a slave. Few details are known about the birth of Onesimus, but it is assumed he was born in Africa in the late 17th century before eventually London and Boston. Onesimus' traditional African practice was used to inoculate American soldiers during the Revolutionary War and introduced the concept of inoculation to the United States. Did you know the earliest recorded protest against slavery was by the Quakers in 1688? Quakers, also known as the Society of Friends, have a long history of abolition. Their protest against slavery and human trafficking was presented at a monthly meeting at Dublin in Philadelphia. The Dublin monthly meeting reviewed the protest but sent it to the quarterly meeting, feeling it to be too serious an issue for their own meeting to decide. Over the century, a rare document that has been considered to be lost twice was recently rediscovered in 2005 and is now at Haverford College Special Collections. Did you know of the 12.5 million Africans shipped to the New World during the Transatlantic slave trade, fewer than 388,000 arrived in the United States? In the late 15th century, the advancement of seafaring technologies created a new Atlantic that would change the world forever. As ships began connecting West Africa with Europe and the Americas, new fortunes were sought and native populations were decimated. With the native labor force dwindling and the demand for plantation and mining labor growing, the transatlantic slave trade began. By the time the United States became involved in the slave trade, it had been on the way for 200 years. The majority of its 388,000 slaves arrived between 1700 and 1866, representing a much smaller percentage than most Americans realize. Originally established to educate freed slaves to read and write, the first of the historically black colleges and universities was Cheney University in Pennsylvania, established in 1837. By the time the Jewish professors arrived, the number of HBCUs had grown to 78. At a time when both Jews and African Americans were persecuted, Jewish professors in the black colleges found the environment comfortable and accepting, often creating special programs to provide opportunities to engage blacks and whites in meaningful conversation, often for the first time. In the years that followed, the interest of Jewish and African American communities increasingly diverged, but this one shared experience of discrimination and interracial cooperation remains a key part of the civil rights movement. Did you know 1 in 4 cowboys was black, despite the stories told in popular books and movies? In fact, it is believed that the real Lone Ranger was inspired by an African-American man named Bass Reeves. Reeves had been born a slave but escaped west during the Civil War, where he lived in what was then known as the Indian Territory. He eventually became a deputy U.S. Marshal, was a master of disguise, an expert marksman. He had a Native American companion and rode a silver horse. Did you know Esther Jones was the real Betty Boop? The iconic cartoon character Betty Boop was inspired by a black jazz singer in Harlem. Introduced by cartoonist Max Fleischer in 1930, the caricature of the Jazz Age flapper was the first and most famous sex symbol in animation. Betty Boop is best known for a revealing dress, curvaceous figure, and signature vocals. While there has been controversy over the years, the inspiration has been traced back to Esther Jones, who was known as Baby Esther and performed regularly in the Cotton Club during the 1920s. Did you know that the first licensed African-American female pilot was named Bessie Coleman? In fact, I did a video about Bessie Coleman a few months ago. You should go check it out. She grew up in a world of harsh poverty, discrimination, and segregation. She moved to Chicago at 23 to seek fortune and found little opportunity. Soon, she set her sights in France in order to reach her dreams and began studying French. And in no time, Coleman crossed the ocean with all her savings and the financial support of Robert Abbott, one of the first African-American millionaires. And over the next 7 months, she learned to fly. Did you also know that interracial marriage in the United States was banned in 1644 and not overturned until 1967? During the 17th and early 18th century, the growing number of interracial marriages between blacks and whites led to the passage of this new law. It would take 300 years for this law to be overturned. There you have it, people. How often do you celebrate Black History? And show that you subscribe to this channel. There you have it, guys. Facts you probably never knew about Black History. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Please share this video with your friends. We need more subscribers, okay? I want people to learn about history, so spread the love, spread Black excellence everywhere you go. Do not forget to join the village. Log on to www.blackhistorybuff.com and subscribe to our own ever-growing Black community. Let's learn about history. Let's spread some love, light, and color. I remain your wonderful host. Permit me to say I'm a wonderful host. See you next video.